American growers in their 50s and 60s keep replanting the same bare August beds, while a quiet group of smart gardeners hasn't bought a new perennial in years. Not because you've done anything wrong, because nobody ever showed you which perennials multiply themselves into permanent colonies. Before plant number 1, drop your state right now, because your USDA zone completely changes which of these performs best for you. Find yours and pay attention. And the one at number 20 kept quietly off every mainstream shelf for 3 generations. Plant number 1, purple coneflower. While most American growers spend $15 to $20 every single spring replacing this exact plant, one August planting multiplies itself into a full self-sustaining colony within just 2 to 3 years. Picture a late summer bed where dozens of magenta pink coneflowers rise together in dense drifts, their spiky seed heads already darkening and ready to drop by first frost. Zones 3 through 9, full sun, average soil. Nobody tells new growers that leaving those seed heads standing feeds goldfinches all winter long. University extension data confirms this coneflower self seeds into a full colony within 2 to 3 seasons once left undisturbed. One $18 plant eliminates $40 or more in repeat purchases every single season after that. The most common mistake American growers make is deadheading in fall. Cutting away the very seed heads next year's colony depends on. That single pruning habit costs them a full year of colony growth and forces another $18 repurchase next spring. Leave those seed heads alone. This August and this coneflower rewards you with a colony that spreads on its own, permanently. But the plant coming next does something even faster. It can bloom the very same summer it goes into the ground. Drop your state in the comments right now, because your USDA zone completely changes. And somewhere in this video is the story of a Midwest grower in her mid-60s who spent 20 years replanting the same bare beds every spring. That story is coming. Keep watching. Plant number 2, Black-Eyed Susan. While most self-seeding perennials take 2 to 3 years to establish, this one blooms the very same summer it goes into the ground, making it the fastest self-seeder on this entire list. Picture a bare August bed, transforming within one growing season into a dense gold carpet, seedlings filling every gap the parent plant left behind. Zones 3 through 9, full sun, average soil. Nobody tells new growers this perennial colonizes bare soil within a single season, faster than anything else on this list. University extension data confirms it as the quickest self-seeding establishment among all documented native perennials. One $14 plant fills an entire bare bed within 1 year, eliminating repeat annual purchases completely. The most common mistake American growers make is mulching too heavily, smothering self-sown seedlings before they ever break the surface. That single habit erases an entire season of free colonization and forces another $14 repurchase next spring. Skip the heavy mulch this August, and this one fills bare soil faster than anything else here, all in a single season. But the plant coming next does something no other perennial on this list can. It produces a completely different flower color every single year on its own. Have you ever grown a perennial that surprised you with a color you never planted? Drop it below. Plant number 3, Columbine. While most perennials refuse to grow in shaded corners, this one not only thrives there, it cross-pollinates naturally, producing a completely different bloom color combination every single year without you doing anything. Picture a dappled shade bed where red, yellow, and purple spurred blooms nod together, each season revealing colors the parent plants never had. Zones 3 through 8, partial shade, average soil. Nobody tells new growers this perennial cross pollinates naturally, producing surprise color variations nobody planted the year before. USDA Plants Database confirms natural cross-pollination as a documented trait unique among self-seeding shade perennials. $116 plant self. Seeds into shaded areas most other perennials completely refuse to fill. The most common mistake American growers make is planting it in full sun, a spot it tolerates but never reliably recedes from. That single placement error stops the colony from spreading and forces another $16 repurchase next spring. Plant this in shade, and it rewards you with colors you never chose, appearing on their own every year. If you are watching and not yet subscribed, YouTube will stop putting this content in your feed. Not slow it down. Stop. Natural Verge releases plant knowledge every week for American viewers who want real results. Plant number 4, hollyhock. While most American growers expect the flower show the first year, this true cottage heritage plant waits until year 2, then perpetuates a permanent multi-generation stand entirely on its own. Picture towering pink and burgundy spires stacked against a fence line, first-year rosettes already growing beneath them to carry the stand forward. Zones 3 through 9. Full sun, average soil. Nobody tells new growers that this plant was historically grown against outhouses simply to mark their location. True cottage heritage still alive today. USDA Plants Database confirms its biennial self-seeding habit, forms a permanent multi-generation stand once established. $118 plant perpetuates itself indefinitely, eliminating any repeat purchase after the very first planting. The most common mistake American growers make is expecting bloom in year 1, then giving up when nothing shows. That single misunderstanding leads to premature removal, erasing the entire multi-generation stand before it even begins. Plant this in August and wait through year 1. By year 2, it perpetuates itself into a permanent stand you never replant again. But the plant coming next multiplies 2 completely different ways at once, doubling its spread faster than anything you have seen so far. Did you believe perennials only spread one way at a time? Be completely honest in the comments. Plant number 5, bee balm. While most self-seeding perennials multiply just one way, this one spreads by rhizome and by seed at the exact same time, doubling its colony faster than anything else planted so far on this list. Picture scarlet fireworks-style blooms clustered densely together in an American backyard bed. New shoots already pushing up from spreading roots beneath the very same soil. Zones 4 through 9. Full sun, average soil. Nobody tells new growers that bee balm leaves make a traditional Earl Grey-style tea substitute most gardeners never realize is edible. USDA Plants Database confirms this plant spreads by both rhizome and seed for genuine double multiplication. $116 plant fills a bed completely within 2 seasons, eliminating any further nursery purchases. The most common mistake American growers make is planting it too closely together, inviting powdery mildew in crowded conditions. That single spacing error weakens the entire colony and often forces a costly $16 replacement the following spring. Space this out this August, and it doubles itself through roots and seed at the same time, filling a bed within 2 seasons. But the plant coming next is the only true red wildflower hummingbirds trust completely, and it multiplies right alongside everything else here. Drop your state in the comments right now, because your USDA zone completely changes. Plant number 6, cardinal flower. While most hummingbirds stay wary of new blooms, this scarlet spire is the only true red wildflower they trust completely, and it self-seeds reliably wherever soil stays consistently moist. Picture a damp low spot in the garden filling with tall red spires. Zones 3 through 9. Full sun, moist soils, Toffel saw. Nobody tells new growers this scarlet spire is the only red wildflower hummingbirds trust completely, ignoring nearly everything else nearby. USDA plants database confirms reliable self-seeding in consistently moist soil pockets across zones 3 through 9. 118. Plant self seeds into a permanent colony wherever that moisture pocket exists in your yard. The most common mistake American growers make is letting the soil dry out. Unlike most self-seeders on this entire list, that single oversight stops seed germination completely and forces another $18 repurchase the following spring. Keep that soil moist this August, and this spire rewards you with hummingbird visits and a self-seeding colony that returns every year on its own. But the plant coming next looks like it belongs in an English cottage garden. This channel exists for Americans who have spent enough seasons making expensive mistakes they were never warned about. Plant number 7, foxglove. While most gardeners chase this classic English cottage garden staple as a one-time purchase, it self-sows into dramatic vertical color and perpetuates a permanent stand once established. Picture towering spotted throat spires rising together along a border, first-year rosettes already growing beneath them to carry the display forward next season. Zones 4 through 8. Partial shade, average soil. Nobody tells new growers this classic English cottage garden staple sows into dramatic vertical color entirely on its own once established. USDA plants database confirms its biennial self-seeding habit alongside documented toxicity if any part is ingested. $114 plant perpetuates a permanent stand indefinitely, eliminating repeat purchases after the first planting. The most common mistake American growers make is planting it where pets graze, since every part of this plant is toxic if eaten. That single placement error risks a serious pet emergency and the real veterinary cost that follows. Plant this along a border this August, and it self-sows into a permanent, generation after generation, stand entirely on its own. But the plant coming next lets you see straight through it, layering in front of anything else in the bed. Have you ever grown a perennial that let you layer plants behind it without hiding them? Plant number 8, tall verbena. While most tall plants block everything behind them, this one's airy see-through habit lets you layer it in front of shorter perennials without hiding a single one, and it self-seeds prolifically even in colder zones as a reseeding annual. Picture thin, wiry stems topped with purple clusters, shorter blooms clearly visible right through the open structure behind them. Zones 7 through 11, full sun, average soil. Nobody tells new growers this airy see-through habit lets you layer it in front of other plants without ever hiding them from view. USDA plants database confirms prolific self-seeding, even in colder zones where it behaves as a reseeding annual. $114 plant seeds itself into a colony every single season, without a single repeat nursery purchase. The most common mistake American growers make is deadheading it. Removing the seed source next year's colony depends on. That single habit forces another $14 repurchase and erases an entire season of natural colony growth. Skip the deadheading this August, and this one seeds itself into a full colony every single season without you buying another plant. But the plant coming next is the exclusive host plant for an endangered butterfly species most gardeners have never even heard of. Have you ever grown a perennial that supports a species most gardeners have never heard of? Drop it below. Earlier at the start of this video, I mentioned a grower in the Midwest. This is that story. In Zone 5, in her mid-60s, she spent 20 years and real money replanting the very same bare beds every single spring, until university extension data on self-seeding colonies convinced her to stop buying and start planting for permanence instead. By her second spring, that same bed filled itself in without a single new purchase, saving her real money every season since. Most people clicked away several minutes ago. You did not. And that is exactly why I am about to hand you something most gardening channels never bother to research: which 5 plants from this list to combine for the fastest possible colony. Plant number 9, wild lupine. While most perennials demand rich soil to thrive, this one self-seeds into sandy, poor soil that other perennials avoid entirely, and it stands as the exclusive host plant for the endangered Carner blue butterfly in the wild. Picture spiky purple-blue spires rising from lean sandy ground in an American backyard, seedlings already establishing nearby where almost nothing else would grow. Zones 3 through 8, full sun, sandy soil. Nobody tells new growers this plant is the exclusive host. The endangered Carner blue butterfly depends on to survive at all. USDA plants database confirms it self-seeds into sandy, poor soil. Other perennials completely refuse to colonize. One $16 plant establishes a permanent colony in ground. Nothing else in your yard will use. The most common mistake American growers make is transplanting established plants, since the deep taproot resents any disturbance. That single mistake kills the plant outright and forces another $16 repurchase from scratch. Leave the roots undisturbed this August, and this one colonizes poor sandy soil nothing else in your yard will touch. But the plant coming next multiplies 2 different ways at once, by clump and by seed, doubling your garden twice as fast. Did you believe a perennial could only spread by seed or by root? Never both together. Be completely honest in the comments. Plant number 10, Shasta Daisy. While most perennials multiply just one way, this one doubles its growth by clump division and self-seeding at the same time, expanding twice as fast as almost anything else on this list. Picture crisp, white blooms clustered together as the clump widens each year. New seedlings already rising nearby to carry the spread even further. Zones 5 through 9. Full sun average soil. Nobody tells new growers this classic cut flower perennial multiplies by clump division and self-seeding at the exact same time. University extension data confirms doubled expansion speed compared to perennials that rely on only one spreading method. One $14 plant fills a bed twice as fast, cutting the wait for a full colony nearly in half. The most common mistake American growers make is letting clumps overcrowd instead of dividing them every 2 to 3 years. That single oversight reduces reseeding vigor and slows the entire colony's natural expansion. Divide this one every 2 to 3 years, and it doubles its spread through both clump and seed, faster than almost anything else here. But the plant coming next brings color to your garden before it even blooms, through foliage most gardeners overlook completely. What plant, spot, or situation in your yard has defeated every single thing you have tried? Drop it below. Plant number 11, Rose Campion. While most plants only bring color through their blooms, this one's silver-gray foliage provides striking contrast even before a single flower opens, and it self-seeds aggressively enough to fill garden gaps faster than almost anything else. Picture felted silver rosettes scattered through a lean, well-drained bed, magenta spikes rising above them as new seedlings claim the bare spots nearby. Zones 4 through 8, full sun, lean soil. Nobody tells new growers this silver-gray foliage provides real color contrast in the garden even before a single bloom appears. USDA Plants Database confirms this is one of the most aggressive self-seeders on this entire list once established. One $12 plant fills bare gaps fast, eliminating the need for repeat purchases in those same spots. The most common mistake American growers make is planting it in rich soil when it actually reseeds most reliably in lean, well-drained conditions. That single soil mismatch weakens reseeding and often forces another $12 repurchase next spring. Plant this in lean soil this August, and its silver foliage and aggressive reseeding fill every bare gap faster than almost anything else here. But the plant coming next smells like black licorice, feeds every pollinator in the yard, and spreads faster than almost anything else here too. Have you ever grown a perennial for its scent as much as its color? Drop it below. Plant number 12, Anise hyssop. While most fragrant herbs stay confined to a single spot, this one smells like black licorice, feeds every pollinator in the yard, and self-seeds into a spreading colony faster than almost anything else on this list. Picture purple spikes rising together as bees move constantly between them, new seedlings already establishing nearby to expand the fragrance stand further. Zones 4 through 8, full sun, average soil. Nobody tells new growers this licorice scented herb makes an edible tea, giving it dual ornamental and culinary value most gardeners never realize. USDA Plants Database confirms strong pollinator activity alongside reliable self-seeding into a fragrant colony over time. One $14 plant expands into a full pollinator-friendly stand, eliminating any repeat nursery purchases. The most common mistake American growers make is allowing wet winter soil, since crown rot is the most common cause of failure here. That single drainage issue kills the plant outright and forces another $14 repurchase next spring. Keep the soil well drained this August, and this one spreads into a fragrant, pollinator-covered colony faster than almost anything else here. But the plant coming next carries a spicy clove fragrance most gardeners forget a perennial dianthus can even have. Did you believe only roses could carry a true spice-like fragrance in the garden? Plant number 13, Sweet William. While most gardeners forget a perennial dianthus can carry real fragrance, this one delivers a true spicy clove scent and self-seeds into a permanent generational stand once it fully takes hold in the bed. Picture dense clustered pink and red blooms rising together along an American border, first-year rosettes already forming nearby to carry that fragrance forward next season. Zones 3 through 9, full sun, average soil. Nobody tells new growers this perennial dianthus carries a genuine spicy, clove fragrance most gardeners assume only annuals can have. USDA Plants Database confirms its biennial self-seeding habit creates a permanent generational stand once established in a bed. One $10 plant perpetuates itself indefinitely, eliminating any repeat purchase after that very first planting. The most common mistake American growers make is expecting first-year bloom, the same error made with foxglove and hollyhock. That single misunderstanding leads to early removal, erasing the entire fragrance stand before it ever begins. Wait through year 1 this August, and by year 2, this fragrant dianthus perpetuates itself into a permanent stand you never replant again. But the plant coming next gets covered in butterflies in numbers most gardeners have never seen on a single plant before. What plant, spot, or situation in your yard has defeated every single thing you have tried? Drop it below. Plant number 14, Joe Pye weed. While most gardeners have never seen this many butterflies cover a single plant at once, this towering perennial self-seeds naturally in moist areas where lawns already struggle to grow anyway. Picture dome-shaped mauve clusters rising tall above the bed, dozens of butterflies gathered together as seedlings establish in the damp ground nearby. Zones 4 through 9, full sun, moist soil. Nobody tells new growers that butterflies cover this plant in numbers. Most gardeners have simply never witnessed on one single plant. USDA Plants Database confirms it as a documented pollinator magnet that also self-seeds reliably in consistently moist ground. $116 plant self-seeds in areas where lawns already struggle, turning a weak spot into a colony. The most common mistake American growers make is placing it in dry soil, since it needs consistent moisture to establish and reseed. That single placement error stops the colony from forming and forces another $16 repurchase. Plant this in a damp, low spot this August, and it turns a struggling patch of your yard into a butterfly-covered colony every single year. But the plant coming next stays untouched by deer and rabbits while still pulling in every pollinator in the yard. Drop your state in the comments right now, because your USDA zone completely changes. Plant number 15, catmint. While most pollinator plants fall victim to deer and rabbits every season, this one stays completely untouched by both, while still pulling in every pollinator in the yard, and it self-seeds into a permanent low-maintenance border. Picture a soft lavender blue mound spreading along the edge, bees working the spikes as seedlings establish nearby to widen the border further. Zones 3 through 8, full sun average soil. Nobody tells new growers this plant stays deer and rabbit resistant while still remaining one of the best pollinator plants in the yard. University extension data confirms reliable self-seeding that forms a permanent low-maintenance border once established. $114 plant expands into a full border planting, eliminating the need for repeat purchases entirely. The most common mistake American growers make is overwatering it, when this plant genuinely thrives on neglect once it takes hold. That single habit produces weak, leggy growth and often forces another $14 repurchase next spring. Let this one alone this August, and it thrives on neglect while filling out a permanent low-maintenance border every single year. But the plant coming next is the wild native relative of bee balm, more drought-tolerant and just as attractive to every pollinator in the yard. Have you ever grown a perennial that did better the less you watered it? Drop it below. Plant number 16, wild bergamot. While its cousin bee balm demands consistent moisture, this native relative thrives through drought and colonizes via rhizome and seed at the same time, attracting just as many pollinators to the yard. Picture lavender pink, shaggy blooms, clustered densely in lean soil, new shoots already pushing up from spreading roots beneath the same bed. Zones 3 through 9, full sun average soil. Nobody tells new growers this native relative of bee balm is far more drought tolerant while remaining just as attractive to every pollinator in the yard. USDA Plants Database confirms it colonizes via rhizome and seed simultaneously, exactly like its cousin does. $114 plant spreads into a full colony without demanding the consistent moisture other Monarda species require. The most common mistake American growers make is crowding other plants too closely, since its spreading habit needs real room to expand. That single spacing error stunts the entire colony and forces another $14 repurchase. Give this one room this August, and it spreads through drought and neglect alike, covered in pollinators every single year. But the plant coming next is the single plant every monarch butterfly in America is searching for. Plant it once, and it comes back stronger every year. Be completely honest in the comments. Plant number 17, butterfly milkweed. While most flowering plants attract general pollinators, this one is the exclusive host plant monarch caterpillars require to survive, and it self-seeds slowly but permanently once that deep taproot fully establishes. Picture bright orange clusters drawing monarchs in directly, caterpillars already feeding on the foliage as the taproot anchors itself for years to come. Zones 3 through 9, full sun, average soil. Nobody tells new growers this plant is the exclusive host monarch caterpillars required to survive at any stage of their life cycle. USDA Plants Database confirms it as the documented monarch host plant across zones 3 through 9 nationwide. $116 plant self. Seeds slowly but permanently, once that deep taproot has fully established in place. The most common mistake American growers make is moving it after planting, since like other taprooted perennials, it cannot be transplanted. That single mistake kills the plant outright and forces another $16 repurchase from scratch. Leave the roots undisturbed this August, and this one becomes a permanent monarch host that returns stronger every single year. And we have not even reached number 20 yet. The most aggressive self-seeder on this entire list is still coming, and it fills every gap you forgot you had. Drop your state in the comments right now because your zone changes. Plant number 18, Evening Primrose. While most flowers close at dusk, this one opens and glows pale yellow under the moonlight, and it self-seeds more prolifically than almost any other perennial on this entire list. Picture soft yellow blooms unfurling as daylight fades over an American backyard. Seedlings already scattered widely nearby to fill every gap left in the naturalized bed. Zones 3 through 8, full sun average soya. Nobody tells new growers this flower opens at dusk and glows pale yellow under moonlight, a detail most gardeners never notice. USDA Plants Database confirms it as one of the most prolific self-seeders documented across this entire perennial list. $110 plant naturalizes into a full colony within a few seasons, eliminating any repeat nursery purchases. The most common mistake American growers make is planting it in a formal bed. Since this plant needs room to naturalize freely, that single restriction stunts the natural spread and often forces another $10 repurchase elsewhere. Give this one room to naturalize this August, and it fills every gap on its own, glowing pale yellow every dusk without fail. But the plant coming next has velvety silver foliage that has become a favorite texture plant for children and sensory gardens everywhere. What plant, spot, or situation in your yard has defeated every single thing you have tried? Plant number 19, Lamb's Ear. While most silver foliage plants offer color alone, this one's velvety texture makes it a favorite in children's and sensory gardens, and it self-seeds and spreads via runners for double multiplication at once. Picture a soft silver mat expanding along the border, new rosettes rising from runners as scattered seedlings fill the gaps around them. Zones 4 through 8, full sun, average soya. Nobody tells new growers this velvety silver foliage is a favorite texture plant for children and sensory gardens across the country. University extension data confirms it spreads by both runners and seed, giving it genuine double multiplication power. $19 plant expands into a full silver mat border, eliminating the need for repeat purchases entirely. The most common mistake American growers make is allowing high humidity with poor drainage. Since foliage rots quickly in soggy conditions, that single condition destroys the entire mat and forces another $9 repurchase next spring. Keep the drainage sharp this August, and this one doubles its spread through runners and seed at the exact same time. And now the moment you have been waiting for, the most aggressive self-seeder on this entire list, the one that fills every bare spot you forgot you had. Have you ever grown a perennial that spread two completely different ways at once? Drop it below. Plant number 20, Feverfew, the most aggressive self-seeder on this entire list. This plant fills every single gap left behind and carries a documented traditional use for headache relief. Most gardeners never even realize it holds. Picture small white daisy blooms carpeting an American bed so densely that no bare soil remains, seedlings already crowding out every weak spot in the yard nearby. Zones 5 through 8. Full sun average soil. Nobody tells new growers this plant carries documented traditional use for headache relief, giving it real dual ornamental and medicinal value. USDA Plants Database confirms it as the most aggressive self-seeder documented across this entire 20-plant list. $110 plant fills every gap left behind in a bed, eliminating any further repeat nursery purchases. The most common mistake American growers make is planting it near delicate perennials, since it will outcompete slower neighbors if left unchecked. That single placement error smothers nearby plants and forces an unplanned replacement purchase. Give this one space this August, and it fills every remaining gap in your yard, permanently, without you planting another thing. You just receive zone-accurate, dollar-grounded, research-based plant knowledge that most American gardening channels have never put in one place. That is what every Natural Verge video delivers every single week. 3 things about this compounding garden strategy that almost no source puts in one place. Planting these seeds too deep this August is the single most common mistake that stops seed drop from ever happening at all. And combining just 5 of these 20 in one bare bed, coneflower, black-eyed Susan, catmint, rose campion, and feverfew fills that entire spot within a single season. True. And the final secret: true self-seeders stay contained near the parent plant, while invasive spreaders travel far beyond any bed you planted them in. 20 plants, under $300 total investment, now replace $150 to $400 in annual repeat purchases permanently, starting the very next spring. Here is exactly where to begin, based on your zone right now. Here is exactly where to begin. Zone to plants to dollar. For zones 3 through 6, combine purple coneflower, black-eyed Susan, columbine, Joe Pye weed, catmint, and wild lupine, 6 of the fastest cold-hardy self-seeders on this entire 20-plant list, for a full permanent colony that establishes solidly in your American backyard. For zones 6 through 9, combine tall verbena, cardinal flower, rose campion, bee balm, and wild bergamot, 5 aggressive warm zone colonizers built specifically for your longer, extended growing season across the American South and coastal regions. Plant before September closes this year's seed drop window, or your very first colony expansion waits a full additional year to begin. You just discovered 20 perennials that will fill your entire garden on their own every single year without you ever buying a single new plant again. If this video just saved you from replanting the same bare beds every spring, hit that like button right now so other American growers can find it too. Comment which zone you garden in and how many plants you replant every single spring. Then subscribe to Natural Verge, because serious growers stop replanting and start letting the garden do the work. Subscribe to Natural Verge. The plants your great-grandmother knew are still out there, and we find them every single week